still remember her exact words. Cold, sharp, greedy. I think it'd be fair if you split it. That was my best friend, Emma. The person I trusted more than anyone. And that was the moment I learned money doesn't change people. It reveals them. Because when the mask slips, you see who they've really been all along. If you've ever had someone flip on you the second things started going right, hit that subscribe button. Drop a like if you've ever had to cut off a friend who thought your success belonged to them. Because this isn't about money. It's about loyalty. This is about how I learned that silence can be the loudest revenge of all. I'm Nate, 27, born and raised in Ohio. Not rich, not special, just another guy trying to stay afloat. I work in marketing, not glamorous, not terrible. Just enough to pay the bills, dodge late fees, and pretend I'm doing fine. Most of my 20s were survival mode. Student loans hanging over me like storm clouds, credit card debt quietly choking me. Every month was a balancing act between what can I pay now and what can I push off another week. Then came that morning, a call from a lawyer's office. My great-aunt Marie, sweet, eccentric Marie, had passed away. She was one of those rare souls who sent handwritten birthday cards every year, even when the rest of the family forgot. Her letters always had a $10 bill tucked inside and a message like, "Never forget, Nate, you're capable of more than you think." Turns out Aunt Marie had quietly saved her whole life. No fancy house, no vacations, no kids, just frugality and faith and compound interest. And somehow, she chose me. When the lawyer read her will, I almost couldn't process it. Enough money to pay off my loans, clear my credit, and still have some left over to breathe. It wasn't millions, but to someone drowning in debt, it felt like being pulled onto solid ground for the first time in years. I remember hanging up the phone, just sitting there in my apartment, cheap blinds, flickering light bulb, whispering, I can finally start over. And the first person I wanted to tell was Emma. Emma and I had been friends since freshman year of college. Same dorm, same broke ramen diet, same dumb jokes about how we'd make it big one day. She was bold, louder than me, sharper, always the one cracking jokes in class, and somehow talking professors into extensions. She called me her brother, and I believed her. So when I texted her, big news, need to talk. Dinner? She replied instantly. If it's about a girl, you're going to order dessert too. We met at our old diner, the one with sticky menus, burnt coffee, and squeaky booths. It was the kind of place that smelled like nostalgia. When I told her about Aunt Marie, about the inheritance, and how I finally felt like I could breathe again, her smile faded before I even finished the sentence. No, I'm so sorry for your loss. No, that's amazing, Nate. Just this tight smirk and the words, wow, must be nice. I bet you'll help out your friends who weren't so lucky growing up. I laughed, thinking she was kidding. Yeah, maybe I'll treat you guys to dinner sometime. But she didn't laugh. Her voice went flat. No, like, actually help. We've known each other forever. I think it'd be fair if you split it. I remember blinking, half expecting her to grin, to say gotcha. But her eyes didn't move. They were steady, calculating. And in that diner, surrounded by the smell of burnt bacon and bad coffee, something inside me cracked. Because for the first time I saw her differently. Not as Emma, my best friend, but as someone who just saw me as a walking ATM with a shared history. At first, I brushed it off. People say weird things when jealousy hits, right? But Emma wouldn't drop it. She started reminding me of every little thing she'd ever done for me. Remember that time your debit card got declined and I paid for your latte? Guess the universe is evening the score. She actually said that evening the score, like covering a $4 latte, gave her a cosmic right to my inheritance. Then came the texts. She sent me Zillow listings of apartments she deserved, car models she was manifesting, a literal spreadsheet titled, "How We Could Split It Fairly." At first I laughed it off. Then it just got creepy. I texted, "Emma, this isn't lottery money. It's from my aunt. It's personal." She replied within seconds. Yeah, but she didn't need it anymore, and we both struggled. "Don't act like you did this alone." That one stung, because she wasn't there when I worked overtime to pay rent. She wasn't there when I sold my gaming console just to keep the lights on. But in her head, we had suffered together, so we deserved to celebrate together. That's when I realized this wasn't about money. It was about control. Emma didn't just want cash. She wanted a claim over me, proof that I owed her something. And that thought sat heavy in my chest for days. It all came to a head one Friday night. We were at a small get-together with our old college group. Beers, bad music, inside jokes. I was feeling good. I ordered drinks for everyone, just wanting to enjoy the night. That's when Emma raised her glass, eyes gleaming. A toast. To Mr. Inheritance over here. Don't forget who helped you get here. Laughter rippled through the room. Awkward, hesitant. I smiled. Played along, but inside my chest was burning. Because I could see it. The way she loved the attention. The way she was testing how far she could go, how much she could publicly humiliate me before I snapped. And I didn't give her that satisfaction. Not yet. That night, as everyone left, she texted me again. "You've changed. Money does that to people." No, Emma, greed does that to people. And that was the last text I responded to for a long time. For a while, I just went quiet, didn't block her, didn't confront her, just silence. It wasn't out of pettiness. It was survival. I needed peace. I'd spent years being the nice guy, the emotional sponge everyone squeezed dry. But this time I wanted to see what would happen if I simply stepped back. I focused on myself, paid off my loans, opened a savings account, started going to the gym again, took my mom on a weekend trip, the first one in years. I thought maybe Emma would cool off, realize how ridiculous she'd been. But instead, she did what people like her always do when they lose control. She started spinning her own version of reality. A week after I went silent, I got a DM from one of our mutual friends, Alex. "Hey, dude. Emma's saying you ghosted her after you got rich. Everything okay?" There it was. The betrayal I didn't even have to provoke. I could almost hear her voice in my head, the dramatic tone, the fake hurt. "I just don't understand after all I've done for him." And the thing that made it worse, part of me still cared. I caught myself wondering if maybe I'd been too cold, too abrupt. I typed and deleted at least 10 different drafts of a text explaining myself, but then I saw something that killed every bit of guilt I had left. Emma posted a story on Instagram, a long, emotional paragraph about fake friends who forget where they came from. No names. But everyone knew. The caption read, "When people get money, they change. But I guess that's what happens when loyalty doesn't pay." The comments were full of sympathy. "Preach, girl. You deserve better. Some people just use others till they don't need them." It was like watching someone burn your reputation with a smile, and then gaslight the crowd into handing them more matches. I didn't respond, because I knew the truth had a way of catching up on its own. It came sooner than I expected. About 3 weeks later, my phone buzzed with a message from Megan, another college friend. We weren't super close, but we'd always gotten along. Her text said, "Hey, random question. Did you and Emma have some kind of falling out?" She just asked me for $500 for rent and said she'll pay me back when you stop being selfish. What's going on?" I just stared at the screen, stunned, then furious, then laughing. Emma was using my name to guilt people into giving her money. It was so manipulative, so desperate, that I couldn't even be angry. I was just done. So I did the one thing she didn't expect. I sent Megan a screenshot of our last text conversation, the one where Emma demanded half my inheritance, saying it would even the score. No commentary, no insults, just facts. 5 minutes later, Megan replied, "Holy crap. She's been lying to everyone." Then came the part that I didn't plan, but fate apparently did. Megan dropped that screenshot right into our college group chat, the same one Emma had been using to play victim. I didn't even know it was happening until my phone started buzzing non-stop. Notifications, pings, dozens of messages flooding in. People who had been sympathizing with her were suddenly backtracking. "Wait, what? You actually asked for half? Emma, what's wrong with you?" Within hours, the chat turned into a courtroom, and she was on trial. Emma tried to defend herself, saying it was a joke taken out of context. But then someone pointed out the multiple screenshots, the texts, the spreadsheets, the apartment links. It wasn't a joke. It was obsession. She deleted her messages, left the group chat, and went private on Instagram within the hour. A day later, she sent me one last message. "Wow, could have just talked to me instead of humiliating me." I read it 3 times. Then I realized she still didn't get it. To her, this was about image, not integrity. She wasn't sorry for what she'd done. She was sorry she got caught. So I didn't reply, because sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all, and that silence, it was louder than any revenge speech I could have written. A few months passed. Life moved on. My peace, something I hadn't felt in years, finally came back. I threw myself into work, started freelancing on the side, even saved enough to start looking for a small condo. Then one night I found myself back at that same diner, the one where this all began. The waitress recognized me immediately. She smiled and said, "Hey, you're friends with that girl, Emma, right? She was in here a few weeks ago." I raised an eyebrow. "Oh yeah?" The waitress chuckled. Tried to charm her way out of a bill. Didn't work. We've seen her type before. I couldn't help but laugh. Not out of spite, but relief. Because in that moment, everything came full circle. Emma had always believed she could talk or guilt her way through life. But eventually, the truth catches up, and the universe collects what's owed. Sometimes I still think about Aunt Marie, about the quiet strength it takes to live your life with integrity and the courage it takes to cut off those who don't. She used to tell me, "You can't choose who's in your family, but you can choose who deserves to stay in your life." And I finally understood what she meant, because Emma wasn't just a greedy friend. She was a lesson, a mirror showing me exactly what happens when you give your loyalty to the wrong people. I didn't need to destroy her. I didn't need to expose her. The truth did it for me. And that's the thing about karma. It doesn't need your help. It just waits, and it never forgets. Money doesn't change people. It reveals them. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them the first time. And if silence is all it takes to make them unravel, then maybe that's the revenge you never even had to plan. So what do you think? Was I right not to give her a dime, or should I have handled it differently? Drop your thoughts down below and tell me if you've ever had someone try to claim credit for your success. Hit like if you've ever learned the hard way that not every friend wants to see you win. And subscribe for more true stories where karma doesn't need help finding its way home. Because sometimes the best revenge is just letting life do the talking. This is Nate, And that was my story